hello. I'll give everybody a few seconds to come in. I think this is a really good time to go live like on Sunday. So not only we can do a recap, but I can also share with you what is going to go on the upcoming week. And so I am out here today to just kind of tell you what I do a recap of last week and actually what I failed on. I started to do it real quick before I went live, but I'm like, you know what? You really don't feel like doing it. So just let the people know what you didn't do. And then that will be one of the first things that we work on for this week, in addition to what we have planned for the upcoming week. So I'll go ahead and get started. So last week I shared with you all some of the things that I wanted to do. And what I will tell you all is some of the things that I did, I was able to do a little bit of harvesting, a little bit of preserving. And so I didn't stay on task like I wanted to, but I did get some things done, but I got to learn how to better stay on task. So last week, if you remember, and you just have to go back to the last week live, one of the things that I really wanted to do was to move the plant stand that was right here where you see all the dead grass, which is okay. I'm hoping it's going to help me out when I get ready to start digging. But we did move the plant stand over here and we put the plants on there. Now, it's been a turtle that has been living in this yard that Chris has named Herbert. I don't know where he came from, but he's been living here and we haven't been able to find him in about 3 weeks. Well, after we moved the plant stand, Herbert was right along in here, and I guess he had been living off of grass and also slugs. So I did get that done. One of the things that I failed on, y'all, and I'm going to turn the camera around because I failed. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. And so I am not going to make excuses because I can come up with a million, but we're not going to do that because that's not what it's about. It's about being accountable. So you remember last week I said I was going to move all of these pots right here and put them up. Well, I didn't do it. I did not do it. And so this week, so my first thing that I'm going to do before I give y'all the upcoming week task is I am going to move these first. And I know it doesn't take long. And I wanted to do it yesterday, but I just didn't get around to it. I was doing everything. You know how you want to do things, like it's certain things you want to do and certain things you don't want to do, and you're doing everything but what you're supposed to do. So that's what I did. I pulled up some of the calendula flowers. I'll show you that in a minute. And was saving seeds. I was doing everything else but moving these pots, and I know I should have done it. But tomorrow, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm just going to give you a quick overview. We did a few changes in this area. You may can't notice it right off, but we did do some changes, and I go into a little bit more specific details in that video. But the main thing is that we were able to get the part 2 of the garden fed. We were able to get it watered. I did some harvesting. I gave away some tomatoes, some peppers, some okra. I didn't give away any of my cucumbers because they're coming on slow, but they're coming on not, this variety is not coming as fast as I want, but it's okay because I do have to pull this one maybe tomorrow or the next day. But this variety seems like it's going to start producing really soon. I think I've maybe harvested one or two off on these, and I planted a new one right here that's growing really good. But like I shared with you the other week, the Armenian cucumbers are really growing as well. So hopefully we'll just get like a burst of cucumbers that's growing. So we got cucumbers in 3 different places. And I'm going to do a separate video, y'all, because what I want to do is do one more last big bang planting of summer. The summer flowers, vegetables, herbs. I think I'm going to plant some more basil, I'm going to plant maybe like one more sowing of tomatoes and try my hand again at the peppers again. I'm going to tell you right now with these baby Bubba, maybe big Bubba, okra, they're supposed to be a container variety. Maybe when it cool, well, okra is like a hot season plant. I'm gonna give it. I'm not gonna do a report yet, y'all. I'll do a report at the end of the summer. Slow progress. I've actually gotten more okra off these jambalaya okras than anything. So we'll see. I won't talk about it. I won't talk about it quite yet. But that's what I was saying. I was doing everything but. So last night I came out here. I saved as many calendula seeds as I could. And I just pulled this up. I started deadheading the bee balm, this area as well. But let's talk about what is on the agenda for this week. And remember, y'all, I make these lives in order to hold myself accountable. And so this is one of the first times that I did not meet the goal. I did not meet the goal of putting these containers up. But that's okay. We're gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna make that my priority before I tell y'all what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make that my priority first thing. First thing, probably it's not gonna be today. I'll tell you that now. Probably first thing tomorrow. And so some of them I'm gonna take back to the garden center. Like the odd shaped ones, I go give those back to the garden center. I'm gonna give these back to the garden center. Some of the bigger ones I am going to keep to be able to pot up, but a lot of them I'm just gonna get rid of. Now let's go into what's on the agenda for this week. So the purpose of me trying to move the plant stand over here was to be able to clear up this area because I got a lot of roses that I need to plant. But in particular, it's 3 roses that I want to put in this area. So I want to create a whole another area to kind of play off of this area right here. I'm not trying to make everything straight lined, but I think I'm gonna have to make this straight line if it makes sense, so that it kind of flows, I guess I would say. So that it flows with this. Now I'm all one for lines. I like lines, but a lot of the lines that I've been creating are have been straight lines. So I think just because this area is a little bit smaller, I'm going to just create maybe a rectangle shape and create this. And some of the plants that I'm going to put up in this area are roses. I got a couple of butterfly bushes that I'm going to put. A few of the alliums I think I'm going to put here. I don't know if I'm going to put agapanthus or alliums right here, but oh, look at this mosquito, and I sprayed myself too. But I'm going to put this here. I don't know how far I want to go out because I'm going to turn the camera around once again. Like, I do want everything to flow. I do want a pathway right here. And y'all don't worry about that. I'm working on this right now. But I do want a pathway that is going to just be clear to the pollinator area over there. So I think I was gonna do like maybe like a half moon shape or something like that. But looking at this area over here, I think that I'm just gonna mirror it, but it'll be like this way over here and just come out just a little bit. So that's why I say I'm kind of glad that, some of the grass was killed, because we're going to do exactly like we did Pollinator Island with this clay soil. I'm not about to be hurting myself. So we're going to use the cardboard method. We're going to just plant. We're just going to dig the hole where we need it to go, like we've been doing. We're digging the hole. We're going to put the cardboard down around the planting hole, and we're going to put the mulch on there. I found that so much easier because this soil is just so compacted, and I just really have to work with it. So that's goal number one. Goal number one is to, this week, and it's going to take, I'm going to tell y'all right now, because of my work schedule, it's probably going to take me 3 days, but I'll film everything. And I hope when I report to you next Sunday that I'll have at least this area done. I will have these put up. I'm gonna have all of the pots put up. Now I'm not gonna sanitize them yet because that's like an extra step, but I will have them like not here, not as a collecting zone for this. And then also, I want to show you this area on the patio right here is because I'm going to have to come in and I'm really going to have to hand pull. Y'all know I don't call them weeds, these plants that I don't want here. So they're starting to get tall, they're starting to get big, and I need to get them before they start to self-seed and create a whole bunch more. So I don't want to put too much on myself. And look, y'all, the bird nest then fell. Let me tell y'all, this is a bird nest over here. So I guess it's fell and all the baby birds are out. But right up here in this gutter that goes into the kitchen, if y'all can see, it's a bird nest up here. And every time I come out, they like start just going crazy. And I'm like, why did y'all choose that area? But I am going to tidy this area up. Here's the thing for the second sowing of summer. And I'm going to sleep on this tonight. So some of the plants have not been doing good. And it's not the plants. Now, we did do a video where we planted these petunias right here. And I'm not pleased with them and the growth habit and what they're doing. And like I said, I do think that it is partially me not feeding it like I should have. And then they also get leggy. And to be honest, I actually had some petunias that I pulled up because they just had got so leggy and I just didn't like the way they look. Some petunias will trail, some will be leggy and you'll have to cut back. But I just didn't like the way that they were looking, so I pulled them up. Now, these were some of the pink ones, and they're okay, but they're not as far along as the other ones were. But I'm trying to figure out, do I just want to go ahead and keep these here for the time being, but go ahead and start maybe some fall flower seeds inside to be able to like replace it. It just depends on my workload. And speaking of which, y'all, I'm finna put one more task on my workload. Remember, I said I want to do my second summer sowing, and I definitely want to get it done by July 15th because believe it or not, I'm gonna have to start thinking about my fall garden. So what I want to do is this week, whatever I'm going to sow seeds for, I need to have it done. And that is a priority. So after I move these pots and miscellaneous things, my priority is whatever you are going to get a second summer sowing on, you better go ahead and get it done now so that I'll have time enough for it to grow and for us to be able to harvest or be able to put out because I really need to start thinking about the fall garden. So I think we're going to leave it at, I think maybe I'm at maybe 3 or 4. So the garden list for this week is to get the pots put up, start my second summer sowing, whatever I'm going to sow, go ahead and get it started right here, right now. The third is going to be for y'all. The third is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to break ground. I am going to make another area. And I want to be very careful. I'm going to have to come in just a little bit because the roses grow about, I want to say 3 to 4 feet wide and 3 to 4 feet tall. So I don't want this to like block the fence like when you open it, especially if they have thorns. So I'm going to come in. If I can't fit 3 because we got the gutter, then I'll do it like 1, 2, and then 3 like this. And we're going to put our butterfly bushes there. And I had another one. I had like just some random plants that I picked up on clearance. And I was like, oh, that'll be good there. But I think it was the butterfly bush. Oh gosh. And maybe I'll have to look. I'm gonna look. I did want to put some more of the alliums down, but it was two plants that I was looking at that actually were the same height and the same width. And in the video that I'm gonna put up tomorrow, when they have a broad width like this, so this is what I learned with this bed right here. So the rudbeckia and the salvia, and I've trimmed up the salvia, like I deadheaded some of those, but they had like a broad height. So it said like between 18 and 24 inches for both. I didn't realize which one was going to grow taller, but like next year, now that I see the growth habit, I would prefer to put the rudbeckia in front because it's a little bit lower than the salvia spikes that come up. See, these are a little bit taller. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant when I get ready to plant. This is like a butterfly bush that doesn't get more than 2 feet in height and 2 feet in width. But then it's another plant that I wanted to plant that has like between 16 and 28 inches. And so when they put a broad number like that with the height, like you really don't know. But I didn't want it to just kind of drown out the butterfly bush. So I'll have to really think about that. But I do know that the roses are going to be the star of the show in this area right here. So I want to go ahead and break ground on that. So I think, yeah, and then pull up this area right here. So I think that's 4 things for this week, y'all. It's 4 things, and it would have been 3 if I had did what I was supposed to do on the other one. But this is the 4th. Like I gotta clean this up. You see how it's just starting to grow? I really want to get those clean, and then these little. I gotta get my leather gloves out for these right here because when I pull plants up like this, you see how it has the spikes on there. Not only do I use my leather gloves, but I really want to get it up from the root because if you just cut it down, it's going to come back. So I want to clean all of these up that are starting to grow within the azaleas. Now I'm going to tell y'all this right here, right now. The azaleas is on my list, but these are going to have to come up. I think that it's getting too much sun here. They've been beaten up by not only spider mites, but also Japanese beetles. They do okay here, but I don't think they do their full potential. These were here when we got here. But like I said, it's not on my priority list of things that I want to do. But I think eventually we're going to get somebody to just like come pull these up. They did put on some really pretty blooms. It's like an alternate color of like a coral and a pink. But as far as maintaining, it just doesn't seem to thrive right here. And one thing that I mentioned in the video that I'm going to put up tomorrow, one thing that I'm learning is if plants do not thrive, don't make them suffer. Just pull them up. Just pull them up. Like I used to try to hold on and I used to try to, really see what it was that I could do to help it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But after a while, if they still don't seem to thrive, I'm just like, let me just take you out and put you either somewhere else or just pull you up and put something else that will thrive there. Now, let me tell you what I've been noticing. Oh, y'all. Okay, so I know I said 4. Let's put one more thing on here. One more. I have got to get this bird feeder filled up right here. Because I'm going to tell you, it's 2 little yellow birds. They're really pretty, but it's 2 yellow birds, and I'm going to show y'all what they're doing. Okay, so we're going to do 5. And the reason why I'm doing this, because we got to go back. I'm going to go back and watch the video. Like, what did I tell y'all I was going to do? Because sometimes I forget. But we are going to do the bird feeder. Ow. Oh, gosh. See, I'm out here in the wrong things, and sometimes I have to get a general reminder from nature, like, you're not supposed to be out here like this. But I did say I was going to make it real quick. So I'm going to fill this up, And I feel like, see, this is what I say about when you plant plants. Two of the black and blue salvias are thriving, and one acting like it's about to check out. One of the cone flowers are acting like it's about to check out. This is why I always say when I start seeds or when I have plants, I do about 25% more. I do think I got one more black and blue salvia. If not, we just gonna have to come up with something else. But I know that I got three more of the cone flowers because we got those on clearance. I did a video on that one. But see, this is what I'm talking about when you garden plan. When you garden plan, sometimes plant are they're just not going to thrive, and so you have to have another plan in place to try to figure out what you're going to do or what you're going to replace. So we'll worry about that now. But okay, so we got 5 things, because let me tell y'all, I'm about to put another thing on the list, because and that might be the little fella right there, the yellow bird. So I do notice that they are loving the sunflower seeds, which I don't mind. Like when I planted those sunflower seeds, I did not plant them with the intention of harvesting them. I planted them because I liked the combination together. Okay. So one day I was coming out here and I was like, what are these black things down here? And so the birds have been getting the sunflower seeds. And like I say, I'm okay with that. But let me tell you what they have been doing. And it's particularly, he's really pretty, or she's really pretty, or they're really pretty. They're yellow, and on their wings is like a black and white. Now, I'm not good with identifying birds. I probably could just look it up online and tell you. But the reason why I'm going to fill the bird feeder up, honey, because they sit here and they pull out the zinnia petals. Now, I don't know. They got to be eating them. Well, here's one right here. But they pull out the zinnia petals. These petals are not falling. They're not falling. They are sitting here and they are pulling them out. I sat and watched them from the window, because they will sit like right here and they'll just sit here and pull them out one by one. And I was like, seriously, y'all? So this what we doing right here? This what we gonna do? We just gonna sit here and we just gonna pull out zinnia petals. This is what they're doing. It's not because the plant is old. They're sitting up here pulling them out. So we got 5 things on the list. We are going to sit up here and we're gonna fill that bird feeder up. Maybe that will distract them from over here. They've also been heavy on the sunflowers on this one as well. And then they've also been heavy on these because maybe the leaves are, oh, they've eaten those. Like one of these leaves, probably this one, was like a little cup for them. And so it was so many sunflowers in here, but evidently they have been coming to eat them. And so these have just bloomed as well. But y'all, let me tell you, I only got a chance to film about 15-20 minutes, but these tomatoes, so I had gathered enough of these and I made a sauce. And when I made this sauce, y'all, the tomato sauce, it reminded me of Italy. You know, I've said so many times when I stayed in Italy that their cooking is simple, but the flavors are so flavorful and bold. Like they don't put a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's just simple cooking, but it's so good. So I literally use some olive oil, garlic, like salt, pepper, my tomatoes, and I think I chopped some onions there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, if it didn't simmer for 6 hours, it definitely simmered for 8 hours. And when I tasted it, I almost started dancing. I did. Like it was good. Like it took me back there. And what I did to make it a little bit chunkier is I took just some tomatoes, some of the same tomatoes. I'm sick of these leaf-footed bugs too, y'all. I'm sick of them. I'm so sick of them. I really am. I just caught like one. One got away and one didn't. It's like in pairs. And I know that they're piercing my tomatoes, my cherry tomatoes. But so I came out here and I got a couple more of these and I just like cut them up in chunks so it would be a little bit chunky. But to make a long story short, we ended up making a beautiful tomato sauce. Now, I didn't have enough to can like a lot of cans, so what I did was I made that batch up, and then I froze what I had with the tomato sauce. And this is what I also found out with these type of tomatoes right here. I'm going to come out here tomorrow because I got to be very careful on how ripe I let them get, because they were almost on the verge of like being too much, too overly ripe. So to maybe this ripeness right here that you see with this tomato, that's about how ripe they need to get. I'm just so excited because this is the only place that I've been in where I can actually let my tomatoes ripen on the vine like fully. So I'm okay. And now that I tell you that, I'm okay with the birds pulling out the zinnia petals versus, now one did peck a hole. One did peck a hole in my tomato. Yeah, they did. They pecked just one, but that's nothing compared to Savannah. Okay, they used to just peck holes and leave, just like a real disrespect there. But I actually had harvested one of these tomatoes to give away, and I came back and noticed that, and it was a little bit more ripe than this, but I came back and noticed that they had did like one little peck. And I know that they're looking for water, which is oh gosh. Okay, y'all, let me hurry up because like again, I caught myself spraying. Did y'all hear how hard I hit myself? But I did put the fountain over there, so maybe they weren't, they're not looking for water as much. And then we're starting to get a couple of the dahlias that's starting to bloom in this area. But I'm just thankful that I can be able to let the tomatoes like really ripen. I'm a little bit on the disappointed side so far with the eggplant. I'm like, it's coming, but where are you? And these were started a little bit sooner than a whole bunch of things. But it's just like, and I've been feeding it too, y'all. Now I got a feeling that once they start coming, that they are really going to put on. But one thing that I am going to put in the journal, like it just takes a long time for them to finally like set fruit. So that's the thing with that, because I planted these right here, and I know I've planted these tomatoes well after the eggplants, and I mean they're progressing just fine. So I'm not sure what the problem is with the eggplant, but that's okay. This is just all some testing, since this is our first year in the Atlanta area growing. And then I'm really, really, really waiting on this Alberta peach, because I want to report back to y'all what this Alberta peach is going to look like. I feel a little fuzz on here, like a little bit. It is a little fuzz, but not like a peach fuzz. But I'm excited to see how that's going to grow. Now, this is what I'm not going to do this week, but I got to think about. So I am going to go ahead and plant some more calendula flowers in the edible flower and herb garden. But what I want to do is top it off and really treat my soil. And when I pull these up, I noticed that these were hiding, like they weren't getting enough light. So I really want to give them the opportunity to get enough light, as well as the zatar. But you see how the soil level has kind of diminished down. So I want to top that off. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to go with soil 3 again. I want to do a little bit of research and get a nice organic compost blend to top these off. So I have a few weeks for that, but I'll keep y'all posted on how I'm going to do it. But I do need to top it off. And when these beds were filled, they were filled with wood chips at the bottom, and then followed by, some compost, like a compost blend at the top. And I do remember using the Soil 3 blend on these, but I'm just going to move the straw mulch back and top these off. And we're going to do a second sowing of the calendula, because I have The calendula that I grew, I have that in olive oil right now over the next few weeks in order to make a calendula salve. And so we're going to do, like, for the fall, another thing so that can take me out to next year. And we're also going to do another sowing of the nasturtium as well. So, okay, y'all, now that I have talked to y'all, I know that I got 5 things to do this week. I will report back to you next Sunday and let you know my status. I'm not going to put too much on myself. So just to recap, we're going to move these pots because it would have been 4, but I should have moved those. So we're going to move these pots right here. We're just going to get them off. I'm not going to sanitize them now. I'm going to decide which ones I'm going to keep, which ones I'm going to take back to the garden center. I'm also going to start breaking ground. It'll take me about 3 days, hopefully get everything planted right here, and I'll make sure I film it so I can show you what we're putting in this area. So that's number 2. Number 3, we have to get this area right here pulled up. Y'all know I don't call it weeds anymore, but I just don't like them there. We're not about to do this. That's number 3. Number 4 is I got to get my second sowing of my summer. Whatever I'm going to plant, I'm going to go ahead and get it planted in seeds now, because a lot of the tomatoes that I just showed you, they are they're indeterminate. No, they're determinate. They're determinate tomatoes, especially this whole bed right here. I didn't show you this, but this entire bed right here, they're determinate tomatoes that are being put on. And so once they're done and put on, then we can pull those. That means that they put all of their tomatoes on at once, and then you harvest them and it's done. And the same for these two. These are determinate as well. The ones that you see growing on trellises, but I am going to do a second sowing of the sun gold as well. Okay, that was number 4. Oh, and number 5. Yeah, I think that was number 4. Okay, and so number 5, because I'm going to have to go back and look at this video, is I have got to fill this bird feeder up over here so that the birds can stop plucking out of my zinnias over here. So, okay, 1, pots, 2, sow seeds, 3, pull up the patio area, 4, break ground on the other one. Okay, and then the bird feeder, fill those up. So we'll go with those 5s. I'm not going to put anything else on me this week, because I don't know what my workload will be like this week at work. So I think that is manageable for me. I think I can put my time on this week, because what I do every week, y'all, as well, is on my phone, I'll put a timer, like how long I think it'll take me to get done with all of the things that I just told you, and whether I do it in one full day or over the next couple of days. Like I'll start the timer when I start to work, because that also lets me know, it lets me get a good gauge of how long it takes me to do things in the garden as well. So a couple of things are really easy. Sowing the seeds, putting the pots up, doing the bird feeders, that's really quick. But the weeding and then the breaking ground over here, I know this is going to be the longest project. That's why I said, when I say 3 days, it's not like I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to work till the end of the day. It's like once I get off, how I get started. And y'all, I'm just getting so upset. I have got to get those milky spores, because the roses want to start to bloom again. And last night I took a cup and I dumped so many Japanese beetles. They will not let my roses come. And so here they are again, right here. So I'm gonna have to, because I had to dump that cup, because after a couple days, when you start collecting so many, it smells. And so I dumped that cup yesterday, but they're really trying to get more blooms on. And so when the Japanese beetles come in, you see these holes right here, this is what they're doing. And it's no need of me hitting them, because not right now. I like to hit them when I have a cup so that I can knock them over in the soapy water. But yeah, I definitely have to do some treating of these. And look, They're right here as well. Just really disrespectful, very disrespectful. But I am going to really work on the Japanese beetles. Like that is my priority, so that I could be able to have roses, and so that I could be able to have rose leaves. Okay, so again, I just wanted to share that with you. I will come back to you next Sunday. I think that 12 or 6, maybe. I think that's around 6 may be a good time. I didn't get notification of your live, so I'm behind. Give yourself grace. Thank you. Thank you, Deanna. And I appreciate that. And I have to remind myself that all the time, like, give yourself some grace. I guess I want instant gratification. And I'm like, it's a work of art. You know, you have to work. You have to work on your art, and you just have to work a little bit at a time. And I also have to say, it is 90 something degrees, and the weatherman keeps saying it's gonna rain. Y'all, yesterday, now I was able to get out and get some stuff pulled and get some stuff like trimmed up. It was thundering, y'all. Like it was about, like the sky was about to get ready to just dump a whole bunch of rain. It thundered, it got dark, the trees start blowing, not a one raindrop. So they, you know, sometimes they say it's going to be 15% of rain. Sometimes they say, you know, 50%. I have not, if it rained, it must be raining overnight, because I have not seen any rain and the garden has not. So with that said, I have to come out here and really stay on top of my like container gardens. This one is self-watering, but the containers like these, and then the containers on the patio. And I just planted these. Here's a good scoop, y'all. So here over the next few weeks, a lot of y'all look at I think this is what they call this spider right here. I know it's not a bad spider, but y'all look, honey, he done got himself. Do y'all see him? He done got himself in the lemongrass. You gotta be careful with this lemongrass with this blades on too. Do y'all see them? So they done got themselves in the lemongrass and just built them a web. But so last night, because I thought that it was really going to rain, I said, let me go ahead and plant these 2 planters up. So I planted, this is the entrance to the herb garden. So I planted these 2 rosemary plants because they're gonna get big. But the reason why I was saying that is because, so I went to Sam's Club, and they're starting to put some of their pots. So this was on clearance. And then I will show you in another video, because I put them up under the garage. Out of sight, out of mind, if you ladies know what I mean. I put them, I put them up, but they had some of the ceramic planters. I think they were regularly maybe $39 for 3. They had marked those down to $13 and maybe 61 cents. But that's why I tell y'all, oftentimes when you see me getting these things, I wait until they start putting things on clearance. So I picked up a couple of those, and I picked up about 3 boxes of those planters. And so I'm just going to be on the lookout, because believe it or not, places like Hobby Lobby is putting their fall and Christmas stuff out. So their Thanksgiving and Christmas stuff out. And so hopefully over the next few weeks, they'll have a lot of the spring and summer shop on clearance. This is where I got this from maybe 2 years ago at like 75% off. And then a lot of, you know, the big box stores are going to start putting things on clearance, because I've really been looking for like a patio set to speak to me, really, for the back. That, and I like to do it during a time when they mark it down. So if you're in the market for like garden supplies, different things like that, now they're starting to do it, but I like to wait till they really slash it on us, okay? So around like between September and October, because by November they got like all of the stuff done. So they're going to start slashing it down, and I like to wait till they do that. And so hopefully if you're looking for something, you'll find what you are looking for too. So, okay, y'all, and look what y'all, okay, look. You see all these sunflower seeds. This over here, but like I say, I'm not mad. They can have the sunflower seeds, because they're not bothering my tomatoes and they're not bothering the other things. And I know that I put the timer on to water these yesterday, and it looks like it hadn't been watered. But okay, so I'm going to report to y'all next Sunday of the 5 things that I'm supposed to get accomplished, and we'll see how far we get. I like to tell y'all because that way I'm going to be accountable, and I don't like to let not only myself, but I don't want to let you down. So you all have a great week and a prosperous week. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and we will talk again soon. We do got some videos coming out this week as well. So again, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And again, y'all take care. Talk to you later.